Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about how to apply for the passport of a newborn in the United States of America. So the first requirement of this is your child is born in the United States of America. Now this process starts even before the birth of the child. So even before you go for the delivery, you need to decide on the name of the child. This is crucial because if you have not decided on the name, then you won't be able to apply for the birth certificate on the day of birth. Now, once you are in the hospital, the child is born. The next step you need to do is to book an USPS appointment for passport application. Everyone books this appointment in advance. There are not many slots near you, so you please need to book the USPS appointment for the passport 22 days after the date of birth of the child, or if you want to be on the safe side, book an appointment which is 28 days or 29 days later than the date of birth, because it takes about 3 weeks or 4 weeks for the process of date of birth certificate or birth certificate and social security card process to complete, and you get the physical copy of these documents. 22 days or 28 days after you have booked an appointment, the next step is to follow up with the hospital administration to fill in the document for the birth certificate application and also social security card application. Both the applications come in one. You need to fill in the details. As I have said to you, the name is really important. You should not make any spelling mistake on that. You need to fill that document as early as possible and submit it to the hospital administration. So once this is done, after 14 days or after 13 days, you need to make a call to the county office and inquire if the birth certificate has been processed for the child. So if they confirm, then you can go to the county office the next day and pick up the birth certificate. So when you go there to pick up the birth certificate, make sure you order additional copies of the birth certificate. During the passport application process, the original birth certificate needs to be attached to the application, and after that you don't have any document to show as proof for the child. Make sure you order additional copies of the birth certificate. It costs a little extra, but it is worth it. So once this is done in 14 days, the social security card for which you have already applied, that would be completed in 2 weeks, but it takes additional 1 week to arrive at your mailing address. So to be on the safe side, maybe it takes 2 weeks. So that's why we have booked an USPS appointment after 22 days or after 29 days. So this is about the SSN, and make sure that you get the SSN number before you apply for the passport. There are many people who say that you can enter 000 as SSN number while you apply for the passport of a newborn, but you will not always be lucky. I had several friends whose applications were denied because they had applied for a passport before they got the social security number. Next process is the filling of the DS-11, and I'll be showing it to you now. One of the steps is to fill the passport application online. In order to fill the passport application, go to the State Department website, search State Department passport application. Now this is travel.state.gov. It is the website for the US passports. Click on the website. If you scroll down, you see children under age of 16. So this is for the minor application. Click on it. Then expand, fill out form DS-11 and print it. Here we have an option of download a PDF. This is to download a PDF and then fill the PDF form using black ink pen only. So let me show you how the form looks. So this is the form. Actually the DS-11 form is very short, but you have a lot of instructions in the front in order to follow and not make a mistake. So if you scroll down to page 5, this is the passport application form. I wanted to show you that you need to use only black ink to fill the form, but if you make a mistake then you would have to fill a new form. You cannot make a correction. So that's why I prefer using the PDF online filler in order to fill the application, and then once I have filled the application, I would know if I have made any mistake or not. I check the form and then I print it. Now other considerations that you need to be aware of is, here there is an option of US passport book and US passport card or both. Passport card is valid only for land travel and also sea travel, but you cannot use it for the international air travel. So passport book is the option for that, and the passport book comes in two forms, regular book and large book. Now the large book is for applicants who travel a lot, but as you know, US passport for minors is valid for only 5 years, so it's better to take a regular book. So you can get both of these, so you need to just select both, and then the form is pretty basic. You would know all the details in the form, but I'll still show you how to fill it using the PDF form filler. Now I already mentioned that it is better to apply for a passport after you get the social security number. If you fill it as 000 and try to apply, it is only your luck if you will get the passport. Sometimes you get a rejection saying that please fill your social security number, but then you would have wasted all your time and effort. So I would ask you to fill this application form only after you get social security number. That usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks after the child is born. And another point you need to remember is you should never sign the application until you are requested to do so by authorized agent. So here we are talking about the passport office agent who you are submitting this form to. So you need to basically sign this application only in front of the agent. So you should never fill any of the details here. You should never sign this. You directly go to the next page and fill all the other information that is required. So this is how you fill the form. You can either take a printout, then fill the form using black ink, and then you go to the passport office or the post office, or you can use the option which is form filler. You click on this. It basically asks you to read this information in the form of notices and disclaimers. You can just click on this and click on submit, and then click on this. Now this is your DS11 form. So you need to fill your first name. So this is basically the name of the applicant who is your newborn child. You need to fill in the information. If there is a middle name, you need to enter, otherwise you can skip it. It is not a mandatory field. You need to fill the date of birth, and you need to fill the city of birth. Then the country of birth is United States. State, you can select the state of birth, and then social security number. As I have already mentioned, you do not put 000 and apply for the social security number. I would ask you not to take chances. Then click on the gender, then click on the height, click on the hair color. Since this is a form of a newborn child, you can mention child. If the child is going to the school, then you can mention student and enter the name of the school. Or if a person is 15-year-old and employed, then you need to mention the name of the employer. Once this is filled, click on next. So it's saying there is something wrong with the date of birth. This date of birth is in the future, so it's not accepting. So let us fill 2023. Now this form will be accepting the date of birth, and then you need to basically enter the address. This is used for the mailing purpose. Enter your address. Country United States, state is Texas, you can mention your zip code. And since this is an application of a child and the house probably will be rented in your name or you might be the homeowner, so please enter the name of the parent who lives at this address. Then you need to mention if this is your permanent address. Preferred method of communication, you can select both, and since you have clicked both, you need to enter your email address. You can confirm your email address by typing it. It does not accept the paste option. Then you need to enter your phone number, type of phone number, click on next. If you have a travel plan, then you need to mention the date of your trip, because this is considered by the passport agent and your passport gets printed faster than what is usually accepted, but it is up to the passport agent. You should be truthful while you fill the date here. I'm mentioning 5th of May. The date of your return, 6 June 2024. Countries to be visited. Mention the travel itinerary, click on next. Then who should we contact in case of emergency? You can mention the name of the mother, enter the address, enter the name of the city, enter the name of the state, Texas, enter your zip code, enter the phone number of the mother, then mention the relationship to the applicant, click on next. Have you been issued any of the following? So has there been a passport issued to the newborn child? So you need to click never had a passport before, click on next. Now here you need to enter the name of the parents and the details of the parents. So first I am entering the name of the father. US citizen, click on whether the father is a US citizen or not. Then enter the name of mother, date of birth of mother, place of birth, name of the city followed by state followed by the country, gender, and if the mother is a US citizen. Has applicant ever been married? We are talking about a newborn child, so it will be no. Click on next. If there are any other names for the child, you need to mention that. So you need to mention the first name and the last name. If he has been known by more than one name, you can click on add other name and you can add those name as well. But now let us consider that the child has been known by only one name. So you leave this blank and click on next. Now this is the application review. Make sure that there are no mistakes in this application. If there is, you can click on edit and make changes. So this is the beauty of filling an application online rather than printing it out and filling by hand. Then click on next. As I have said, there are several passport options and each of the options cost money. I would recommend that you apply for both passport book and card. Passport card costs around $15. Additionally, you can use this for domestic travel. The passport card can be used for domestic air travel as well. And you can leave the passport book at home or at a secure location. Then you can also check large book if you want a larger book and if you are a frequent traveler. If you can wait for a long period of time, or like the expected time, you can click on routine service, which is for free. But if you are using expedited service, then you can click on this option, so processing will be faster. And if there is an agency located at your city, so usually in Texas there is an agency at Houston. In Austin where I live, there is no agency, so I will not be selecting this option. I would directly be applying at a USPS office, and this is the expedited service. Select that option. Since you are looking for a faster option, you can select 1 to 2 day delivery. It costs around $20 extra. And for the passport card, there is no other option. The passport book and passport card, they come separately, so you can click on this option. And file search, you can basically avoid this. This is not necessary and it is an optional service. So click on next, and then you can see that you can basically locate a facility or agency nearest you by clicking on this option, and you can select whichever is closer to you, and you can book an appointment there. And on the date of appointment you can go with all the required documents and this DS11 printout which has not been signed by you. So please remember that you should never sign it, and you should also take a picture of baby with you. And there are so many requirements for the passport photo, so you need to be careful. The hand should not be visible in the photo of a child, and it has to be like white background. So there are other requirements. Usually you can visit CVS, Walmart or Walgreens. They can get the passport photo done for you, but I would recommend that you get the passport photo done at USPS. So there are several USPS locations that take passport photos. You need to call them and find out if the photo taking facility is available at that location, and then you can book an appointment with that particular branch, and do not book an appointment with other branches. In my case, when I took the photo from CVS, the photo was not accepted by the agent, and luckily the USPS had the photo taking option there. I got the photo of the baby taken. So one recent passport photo, this is about the photo. I would recommend you to go to USPS location or branch where there is passport photo facility. And proof of US citizenship for a newborn child, it is the birth certificate that the child is born in United States. Now if you have undergone the process of naturalization as an adult, then you would have to provide certificate of naturalization, the correct passport fees. So as you can see, there is the fees mentioned over here, which is $194. This is to be paid to US Department of State. You can take a money order at Walmart Money Center for this exact amount, and you need to get it in favor of US Department of State exactly like this, and you can take that particular money order, or you can also get a personal check done, and this is payable to your acceptance facility, which is basically USPS location. This is around $35. So mind you that they don't accept the credit card, so you need to either take a debit card or $35 in cash. I would recommend you to take both. Then the proof of relationship. Another important thing you need to remember is that both parents should be available, and they should go to the USPS for the appointment. So that is a must. If one of the parents is absent, then there is a huge requirement of the documentations. I will go through with those documents later in this video. But usually for the proof of relationship, you need to take the birth certificate, and both the parents' name should be mentioned on that birth certificate. This is the birth certificate of the child that I am talking about. Then there are some other requirements, like if the child is adopted, then you need adoption degree and so on. And also remember that the parents should provide a photo ID, and this photo ID should be a state photo ID. So if you are applying for a passport of a newborn child in Texas, then the parent should have a photo ID that is issued by Texas. Gather all these documents, then print this form, and remember that you should never sign this DS11 form. You should take a printout only on single-sided paper. You should never take the printout on back-to-back. And you need to compare and make sure that the printed form have all the correct data. And you need to be careful that there should not be any distortion, smudges. And then click on I have read and acknowledge the steps, and then you can click on print form. Open this form and make sure that all the details are correct. Now let's see what documents need to be taken for the passport appointment of a newborn child. First document that you need to take is an evidence of the US citizenship. Now for a newborn baby, the proof of US citizenship is basically the birth certificate that shows that the child was born in the United States. For people who are renewing the passport, the expired US passport acts as evidence of the US citizenship. And for people who have obtained citizenship through naturalization, the naturalization certificate acts as evidence of US citizenship. So when you take a particular document, you need to take the original and also make a photocopy of the original document. On a birth certificate, it is mentioned that it is not legal to take a photocopy, but everyone does that. Or you can take a certified copy along with the notary done by the notary public, or you can take an additional copy of the birth certificate that you can obtain when you get the original birth certificate from the city county. Next is the evidence of the parental relationship. For this, the birth certificate should be sufficient for a newborn child. The birth certificate should have the names of both the parents, or it has to be an adoption document if the child is adopted, or it can be a court order with the sole custody information if both the parents are divorced. Along with that, the parents should take their identification proof. For this, the driving license or the in-state ID would act as the identification document. You need to take a photocopy of the identification document, both front and back. If the document is not from in-state or it is a out-of-state driving license, then you would have to take an additional form of identification, and all the additional form of identification that can be taken is listed on the State Department website, which I will link in the video description. Now, along with this, you need to take the evidence of the parental consent. So this is an important section. Now, the easiest way to show the parental consent is that both the parents appear for the passport appointment at the passport office or the USPS office and sign the documents in front of the passport agents. If for some reason one of the parents cannot come, then there are several documents that can be used. Now, if both the parents are divorced, then the sole custody document can be provided, which comes in the form of court order or sole custody decree. Or if the child has been adopted on your own, then show the adoption document which lists your name as the sole parent. If one of the parent is deceased, then the death certificate should be added as an additional evidence. If there is a case that the parent cannot just go to the appointment, then you need to provide a document which is called as DS3053, which is the statement of consent. This form needs to be filled in but needs to be signed in front of a notary public and needs to be notarized. Along with that, the photo ID proof of the parent who signed this document needs to be taken along with this. There may be a case that you do not know where the other parent is. Then in such case, you need to fill a document which is DS5525, which is document for the special family circumstances. This can be added as evidence of parental consent. Along with this, you need to take a one photo which is square shape. So you can get this photo done at Walgreens or CVS, whichever is nearer to you. So they know all the requirements. Just make sure that the child has his or her eyes open in the photograph, and there are no hands visible in the photograph. Along with this, you need to make a payment in two parts. One part payment is $35 currently, which is basically the processing amount need to be paid at the processing facility, which is USPS post office or the passport office. And this payment needs to be done either through a debit card or cash, because not all USPS location accept credit card. And the other part needs to be paid either by money order or personal check, and it should be paid to US Department of State. And the exact amount, it varies depending on whether you have applied for expedited processing, whether you have applied for 2-day shipping, whether you have included passport card along with the passport book. And I have shown you the amount when we filled in DS11 in this video just previously. So for that exact amount, you need to get a money order. It can be issued at Walmart Money Center, or you can take a personal check. I would recommend you take a personal check, because then you can leave that amount space blank and ask the passport agent and fill the amount in front of him, because if you enter an incorrect amount, it won't be accepted at the passport facility during the passport appointment. So these are all the documentation. If you get any issues or if you have any obstacles or any questions, you can comment down this video and I will get to you with my replies as soon as possible. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you for your support. Take care.